Unfortunately, like last month, look at the clock to start our meeting at 7. Now it says 8:20, and so we're trying to fix it, and it's not working. So I'm sorry, but it's officially 7 o'clock now. So I'd like to call the meeting to order. And if you would this time, would you stand and join me in pledging allegiance to our flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. At this time, we need the council to approve the agenda. Eric, any changes to the agenda?
No, sir.
Okay. So you received the agenda. Could I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Okay, second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good. We've never had somebody turn it against an agenda. So everybody approves it. At this point, we don't have any scheduled appearances, but we have 3 people that have asked to speak to us, and one wants to speak at the end of the meeting. The other 2, Thomas Weaver, are you here now? Would you like to speak now?
At the wish of council, I can speak now, or I can wait till the end of the meeting in approbation of the council's authority.
Okay, let's just, if you could, let's wait. And also, we have Dale Phillips and David West. Who wanted to speak at the end of the meeting? David did. Well, if you don't care, let's get the 3 speakers at the end of the meeting, as we have it on our agenda. Okay? All right. At this time, Eric, announcements.
Announcements, we have Art on Main coming up September 6th and 7th, October 24th, Spooktacular, followed by the Halloween in the Garden the following day on the 25th.
Okay, and that's on our app, right?
Yes.
Does everybody here know that our city has an app that tells everything that goes on? It's great. I think we're the only city in the county that does. So I'm happy about that. At this time, move to approve the minutes from July 17th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, a motion made.
Okay.
Second. Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. This is another month that we don't have any old business to deal with, just new business. So we will move now to the first item of new business, which is consider potential right-of-way abandonment. And that is on Roberts Lake Road. Eric, you want to give an update on that?
No changes since what we discussed at the work session. The previous slide was the one that kind of shows on the ground what's being considered for abandonment. Then this is the actual survey of what is being considered for abandonment. Coupled with this then would be a private or a locally controlled lot gate on Roberts Lake Road. In the vicinity, if you're familiar with that area, we back that gate up in the vicinity of where the Byers family has their garages, very close there. So we don't want to run cars all the way back to the gate and then have them back out. So you want people to pull in, be able to see that gate, that's a gated area. It's recommended for a locally controlled gate, at least through the period time of construction, to where any construction traffic that needed to use that segment could, but fire would also have full access.
Well, I have a question. On the beginning of the road, will we have a sign that says no outlet or dead end or something like that?
We will put it right there by the pull into the parking lot at the Wheeler House. Because you want those people to get into the Wheeler House parking lot without getting scared off, but then have it right there. So.
Setting back. Okay.
Eric, also, there's no problem with pedestrians still accessing through there?
The way it is crafted right now, it would not have pedestrian access. We do retain utility easements.
It would not have pedestrian access.
It would not have pedestrian access, the way it is currently crafted.
So how do we fix that so pedestrians and bicycles can still use the road?
That would be an act of council.
That's private property though. So
No.
how can pedestrians go through that?
No.
It would be private property if we abandoned it.
Right,
Prior to abandonment, right now, it's public property.
right.
So I would make a motion that we, can do the abandonment with an easement in perpetuity for pedestrians and bicycles, non-motorized vehicles to use it to access Roberts Lake Trail.
At this point, you've made that motion. Is there a second? Okay. This time, any discussion? You know, let me make a comment. You know, as far as pedestrian access, to me, the biggest concern would be once we build a new sidewalk up from Northridge to Cherokee Village, at least on the other side of the road, the sidewalk we have now is so unsafe, people can't use it. But I'm saying that at some point in the future, if that happens, it might be worth looking at allowing a sidewalk to be built on that road. But right now, we don't know if that will ever happen. We want it to happen if T-Splost is passed. But again, I think that it would be hopefully something we could, or whoever's here at that time, could actually request to be considered at that time. It's just my opinion. Any other comments?
Yes, I have a comment. I would like to make a motion to, let's see if I remember my Robert's Rule of Law, to, I guess you would override, deny, I don't know whether Ned had just made a motion to it, because I believe that we're not following our Parks and Rec original land plan, as far as having the Roberts Lake Trail down at the bottom of the hill, and that I think that we should be following that and making where the lockbox is, totally no access to pedestrians, because that is private property. And so that's my motion.
I'd like to add
Does that
too,
work? You can't make a motion to.
Well, I have to, yeah, you have to help me follow these Roberts rules,
Well,
you know, so, but that's gonna be
I think you have,
under
correct me if
comments.
I'm wrong, I think you have a motion and a second, so it's a call for the vote.
We must vote on it.
Okay,
Any more comments?
I would like to make a
I
comment.
need to-
When we originally discussed this in the work session, the abandonment of the right-of-way,
Mhm.
there was really no discussion per se of tacking on this is kind of like a last minute, unless I was totally out in left field someplace. I know it came through via email after the work session through a resident asking that if we would keep that. But that does not cover us as a council, discussing this. I don't think there's been any discussion put into this. I mean, there's a whole lot more questions that I would like to know before we, actually say yay or nay to this situation, and I don't think by just throwing it in willy-nilly tonight, when no true discussion has gone on about it, I don't think that's fair. For us to be able to make an informed decision. So, I mean, I have no problems discussing it and tabling it. I know a motion's already been passed, but anywho,
I have a comment.
Go ahead.
I've spoken with the property owners there. They don't want that coming by their property. As it is, if somebody were to stray walk through there, they could get around the gate, but I don't think putting a dedicated pedestrian and bicycle path would be in the best interest of the property owners.
and I'm also gonna tag on to what he just said. We had a similar situation in another development, Mountain Brook, where the city wanted to, through the green spaces, tack on the walking trails, and that was several years ago. Well, those green spaces were owned by the HOA, and unequivocally, every resident said absolutely not to that. They did not want that type of access to be able to come through their neighborhood, you don't, making a path for, and I'm not saying we have bad people, but, they can be out there, and giving them that, a clear access to, go through that. And that's why I said, I think there's before we just, where we're at right now, I think more discussion needs to be done.
At this point, do we want to pull your motion out?
You have a motion and second,
But,
and you discussed it. Is there any further discussion?
No, just that I don't support the being public access through the neighborhood. It's private
Call the
residence.
question.
well, we
Unless
have,
there's further discussion.
unless the motions were pulled out, reversed, and then another one put in to study this later, or another one puts in to pass it without the
So
request.
You just,
Go ahead.
I mean, I
You-
basically
you-
was asking to not give up being able to walk on the street. It's
so
already there,
there's two things. You can leave your motion in place,
okay?
and if Mr. Barnes leaves his second in place, then the question's called. If you feel comfortable, your choice, you can withdraw the motion, withdraw the second, put forth the motion to table
I
for
guess that's
pending
what we
further
should do.
discussion.
We'll table it.
It, I'm just saying, these are your options, just by Robert's rule.
Right.
I guess I'll withdraw my motion.
Okay. Second withdrawal.
Withdraw the motion, withdraw the second.
So the motion's withdrawn, second was withdrawn, and now
Make a motion to table.
Make a motion to table it.
Yes.
I'll second that motion. For further discussion, tabling.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, all in favor of tabling?
Oh,
All in favor? 2? Any opposed?
Aye.
Nate,
Okay, so it didn't pass.
so the
It's 2 for it, 3
motion to
against
table
it.
has carried 3-2.
Right.
Correct, ma'am? I'm sorry.
No,
You were,
I said, I was on the fence about tabling it, but listening to other comments of the council members of talking to residents and so on and so forth, I go with not tabling it if they're not, I hadn't had that ability to do that, so,
so you do not want it tabled?
no. Mm-mm.
Okay, so tabling has not,
I guess-
the vote for tabling it didn't pass.
right.
So at this point,
It does.
we now have a request for any other motion.
I will make a motion to accept it as is for the potential right-of-way abandonment with no access to public access.
So you want to give away the road?
I want to keep it private property. They deserve to
fine.
have private property.
Yeah, they're private
And
property.
It is
They need
gated
to be
community. And
Private.
I certainly am standing by keeping it private property.
It's not keeping it private property, it's making it. It's taking it away from the citizens of Wall Ground being able to walk the way we've walked directly from our property across the street to get to the dam.
Yes, and that I am doing that because in our master parks plan, it has to the trails at the bottom of Northridge Extension. And that's what we all agreed on, and that's what we adopted.
Any further comments?
I personally spoke to the property owner also, and David said that that was fine, David Byers.
I did as
And
well.
then he talked for another 25 minutes, which was very interesting and informative and pleasant.
I've also spoken to the property owners. and also beyond the gate of the property owners. It's a gated community, and I'm standing up for the property owners in that gated community, not to have the general public go
But
through there.
I'm so sorry. We have a motion.
Yes.
We need a second before continuing discussion. So we have a motion on the table.
Is there a
And
second?
ma'am, I'm sorry, would you repeat
The motion was to stay as it is, as was discussed in our work session, with no right of way to the public as far as walking through the gate and up to the trails.
Just a right-of-way abandonment.
Right. With the knock-off spots, there with the gated, limited use. Right.
maintaining utility easement?
Is there a second?
A second.
Okay,
Before we vote,
we've
can I
had,
ask
we've had a lot of discussion. We'll hear more.
Just a quick question though, because I want clarification on this. The abandonment was originally set up because of Robert's Pass being deeded over to us, correct? That was the agreement, that this would be abandoned with Robert's Pass being free and clear deeded over to us as the new access point, and that's what it's been all along up until tonight when it became different.
Yes and no. The Roberts Pass dedication was going to take place in an exchange. There was going to be a signage issue done on Roberts Lake to prevent traffic from using Roberts Lake to exit to State Route 372. Okay, so that was initially the plan. So we got last month, we got the dedication, or maybe earlier this month, I guess it was, we got the dedication of Roberts Pass by quitclaim deed.
Right.
So then it's in the position that we could put up the signs.
Right.
The question now changes, instead of signs, the request was to go back to a gate and abandon Roberts Lake Road through that segment.
Because we now have Robert's Pass, which would serve the same purpose for a road, actually a much better road than
Serves
what
the purpose for the road, yes.
than what Roberts Lake was. Never in all these months, and this has been on and off again, discussions about this, has anything other than what we just discussed been brought up. So, okay, I just wanted some clarification on things, so.
And by giving this up, then the property owners will have to manage the road, right?
There won't be a road.
What is the paved,
The
That's
pavement
right.
will come out. So that was the question. Pavement would come out and the development that's up there becomes a circle, if you would. So what's Roberts Lake, what still would be Roberts Lake Road, if the gate wasn't there, would dead end into the circle. The circle then would exit to Roberts Pass. So from
that point?
the wrong point here. From this point here, all the way back to 372 is still public property. Red area from here going to the top of Roberts Pass is what is requested as abandonment. And what is not showing on this aerial is the road that has been built now on this side that kind of loops through and comes out. This becomes gated.
Now, I'm
I was
glad-
under the impression that we're putting a gate on that road with a Knox box for fire emergency access, the secondary, but we're taking that piece of the road out.
We're not, this would be a secondary access for fire to reach this area and could also exit on through this area. If Roberts Pass is blocked, they can come in through this area, but when they get here, they will not be able, this will be out. They
Correct.
would drive around the loop and back out.
Correct. I guess where I'm maybe confused is I thought the other stretch from 372, that part right there, is gated with a Knox box for emergency. I
Mhm.
thought that's what you were saying, that road is coming out.
No, sir, I'm sorry. No, from this area right here
That's what I thought.
No,
back to 372,
No, it's
that all
to the
stays
mayor's
paved.
house, that's all gonna stay.
That's
paved.
still
That's
public
city
road. It is going to have a gate on
Before
it in the
that,
vicinity.
this is a
That's what I
gated
guess
private
we're
community.
talking about.
And see, my
Since-
thing is
That
we
portion is
were all
public.
okay to abandon that basically in exchange for Roberts Pass, because that's nothing but junk. But to leave that open for people to ride
Well,
bikes
and
through.
the thing is, if you,
You know, people are.
right here on the screen,
$5 million
from this area,
private
they could
community.
actually
I
walk
don't want
this
people
area
just having access coming in.
to this point.
That's correct.
Technically, this will be a private road. These are not public streets. This is a private community. So people, yes, can legally walk from 372 to this point.
And then without a pedestrian easement, you can't go any further.
Right.
And you can't get from the bottom to the left where the trail is, because that's all private property. So you'd have to walk, you'd have to go, instead of going straight across, you have to go down the hill and then come back up the hill on your pedestrian.
You'd have to go by the tennis courts,
Right.
get on the trailhead and up the hill.
And that's where all the signage and everything is for the trailhead too, for the entrance to it and so on and so forth. So, I mean, that's really the beginning of the trailhead is there.
So my motion was still.
Motion, second,
Have the
Yeah,
second.
second. All right, we've had a lot of discussion. Any more?
I'm exhausted.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed,
Who's opposed?
very opposed.
3, 4, 2 against. So it does pass. That's a very long, a long business that we've got with.
Call it a night now.
Our next item under new business is consider possible zoning code changes for car washes as a conditional use. And basically, we're going to require the city council to approve any car washes that are going to be built in our city. You want to update that?
It's a very simple thing. Every place is currently permitted in our code. We would change it from permitted to conditional. They would have to come in and get a conditional use authorization from mayor and council.
Okay, and we've discussed that at work session. So at this point, I have a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve this zoning code change for car washes as conditional use.
Okay, second.
Second.
Christine? Any further discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that goes on. We have a second reading on that? Or
Yes.
it'll be in September. Okay. Third item, consider acceptance of Roberts Pass as a city street. I'm telling you, all these roads with my names on them, they're not mine. My great grandfather and great uncle, they were involved in putting those together, but they're not mine, so don't. I'm amazed how many Roberts roads we have now. But anyway, this is again to accept the Roberts Pass.
I make a motion that we accept
Okay, motion
Roberts Pass.
Dennis,
Second. Oh, sorry.
Christina.
second Vicky. Any comments, discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that's done. Next item under new business, consider a first reading ordinance for mandatory backdoor trash service. And that has to do with downtown, on Gomer Ferry between Old Canton Road down to Northridge. You want to explain it?
Right, what this would do is there's been a move to try and get the trash cans off of the brick sidewalks downtown. So the thought is mandatory backdoor service. There would be an additional cost of $6 per can per month. There are businesses, one business right now, that we would automatically exempt from this, is they have no access to the back of the building. There is another building that has no access to the back of their building, but they're already picked up on the Old Canton Road side. So they wouldn't be impacted either. So if this is accepted as a first reading, we would send it out to make the business owners aware that this was forthcoming. Second reading would be next month, and it would go into effect.
Okay, again, this was something we discussed at our work session. So at this time, is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second? Vicky made the motion, Christine made the second. Any comments further? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that passes. Next item to deal with now is consider possible zoning code changes for paid parking lots as conditional use. Want to explain that?
Yes, sir. So we've modified this somewhat. Palmer has made great headway already in drafting a parking ordinance with parking standards. But this item would also require 2 readings. So the ordinance should come to you next month. But the proposal now is our ordinance currently provides for parking lots, and they're just simply permitted in different areas. And then the parking lots for trucks and buses requires a conditional approval. We are recommending to change the title just to have public parking lots and private parking lots. And the public parking lots would be permitted in their classifications, and the private parking lots would require a special permit or a conditional use. The ordinance that follows with this next month will go into a great deal of detail, just identifying what's really a private parking lot. A restaurant that has an adjoining parking lot, that's a secondary use to the primary business and is not considered a parking lot. That's a parking lot for the restaurant. They don't need a conditional use permit the way this is being put together. But so that's the change. Instead of talking about paid and unpaid, it's just private and public.
Well, the ordinance will be provided next month.
Next month.
So
But this is just to go ahead and make it now where a private parking lot would need a conditional permit.
Okay. Anybody have a motion to do so?
Motion to approve the conditional.
I second.
Okay. Any comments or discussion further? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that'll be brought up again in September, correct? The ordinance. All right, next item, consider red speed school zone camera agreement. And this is something we've been working on down here by the school to put a camera for speeding. And you want to update us now on what we need to do
I
now?
think we've beat this horse just about as badly as it can be done. Legal counsel has provided a contract back. It appears that contract is going to be accepted by the folks at Red Speed. What we would ask for tonight, if this is something the elected body wants, then we're at the point just to authorize Chief Gianfalo to enter the contract once final approval by the city's legal counsel.
Okay, well, we have discussed this again, multiple work sessions.
I've done a little more research and found that this is considered to be a regressive tax on poor people, so I was thinking for it, but.
Right. Any comments? Well, actually, I need a motion to approve first, and then we do more comments.
Motion to approve the Red Speed School Zone camera
Okay.
agreement.
A second.
Okay, second, Dennis. At this point, any further discussion? Any comments?
I also had just checked a little bit more on it, and I couldn't support it myself on it. I found what I'm finding is most of their speeding, I think, is going on, 6 p.m. to 11 o'clock at night. I'm not the authority on it, but I mean, when I drove down this week alone, there's no way I could break the speed limit if its traffic was all backed up on Valley Street. But later in the evening, even when we're sitting here for our meeting, you can see seems to be the time. So I just couldn't find get into that contract.
I agree with Scott. The afternoons it's backed up, but the mornings, over the past couple of weeks, I'm not a real early morning person, but I've been out in and they're not backed up, and I've seen some speed. And I look at it this way: it's just another layer of protection that we have in that area, which I think is very important. And if you're not speeding, you have nothing to worry about. So, it's as simple as that. If you don't speed, you got nothing to worry about, and it's just during the school time. So, but if you're speeding, well, then you got something to worry about at that point in time.
I did speak with the chief this week about, on this picture here to the right, school days, and it has the times on there. I don't think our signs, we don't have any of that posted on Valley Street. So I did, and he said he would check in on that.
Which we don't, and I was going to ask you about, Eric. And then also, this has nothing to do with it, but while we're bringing that up, it says speed limit 25 when flashing. Well, in the mornings, it's not really flashing. It tells you you're going 22, 34. It should be flashing 25.
We'll have to completely redo this.
That is, until those changes and everything is I's are dotted, T's crossed, cameras should not be put into effect until all that
And they
stuff
can't
is-
be.
Yeah.
State law doesn't allow it.
That's what I brought that to the chief as well.
Yeah.
I said, at this time, I couldn't support the red speed till the other things were put in, that people can use that first and see what does
Right.
get into that contract.
Also, the tickets only be done 10 miles over the speed limit,
11.
11. So people drive, when it's going to be flashing 25 at certain times of the day.
Lieutenant Young, first 30 days is warnings.
Usually, anytime you change the speed and things like that, or implement the item, it's 30 days.
Okay, it's in the statute, Darrell says, so.
Yeah.
First 30 days is a warning, but there will nothing happen till signs and flashers are proper by state code, and we'll have the city attorney come up and double check all that if this is so. Back we go.
So, but we've had people driving quite fast on this road. That it'd be nice to know they're doing that while the school is open. But still, we need to vote on this. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Annette's opposed. And Scott's opposed. So it's 3-2, so it does pass. All right, next item is consider T-Splost. We are working right now with all the other cities in the county and looking at voting on additional sales tax for transportation, for roads. And what's kind of interesting is people paying that extra penny isn't just people that live in the, more people, probably just as many people that don't live in the county are going to be paying like the people that live in the county. But again, Eric, why don't you update us?
Yes, this is just a proposed intergovernmental agreement between Cherokee County and any of the cities that choose to enter it. It's to call a question on the November ballot to allocate a 1 penny sales tax for a transportation splost. Means every dime has to go towards transportation. If it were to be successful, Ball Ground would receive, by the estimates and growth projections, in the vicinity of $5.8 million over the 6-year period. We've identified project lists and maintenance items that we would do with those funds. More importantly to us locally, if it passes Cherokee County, in what they collect would allocate a little over $10 million towards the truck bypass to get the trucks out of downtown. So that would be significant.
The benefit. So
The city attorney has reviewed the IGA and approved it for form.
all right, so we need to approve the IGA.
Make the motion that we approve the IGA.
Okay,
Second.
second. Okay, any discussion further? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that's unanimous. And we'll be voting on this in November.
November, yes, sir.
So unfortunately, the city can't advertise pro or for or against it, but those of us involved in the city will show our opinion outside City Hall. But it's again, there will be benefit for our city for transportation that we really need. All right. This next item is the last new business item. It's consider River Street speed limit request.
So this came to council, I believe, 2 months ago. Discussion at that time on the segment of Groover Street north of Roberts Pass was to first install signage with no outlet and children at play to see if that would take care of the problem in the neighborhood. Word back from the HOA president is they're happy with what's there now. And so this was just a housekeeping item, just since we had tabled an item to bring it back for a motion, maybe to take no further action at this time.
I'll make-
Okay. You want to make the motion?
Yes, I'll make that motion.
Second.
So-
I'm glad to hear that the signs worked, so,
They are there.
yeah,
See that?
it's a good thing.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Then again, the signs have been put up and they're very obvious, so I think it's happened. So that completes our new business items tonight. This time, Chief, not the chief.
Acting.
Chief Giovanni can't be with us today. He is actually celebrating, don't tell him I told you this, but his 32nd year wedding anniversary. So I told him I would fill in, so I've got some numbers just for you, just to kind of go over a few things from the last month. I went back from last month on the 12th, July 12th, till today. Total number of crashes that we've had since then is 11. 4 of them have had injuries. And an interesting something I noticed, I actually went back a year to January 1st till now, to see the frequency of what days we are having crashes on. And oddly enough, a Wednesday and a Friday are crash heavy days. So between 8 o'clock in the morning and 6 o'clock at night, so if you stay off the streets on Wednesday, help me out with my numbers. It was kind of interesting to see that Wednesday we never figured. Wednesday. Traffic citations, we've had since way back from July 11th until today, the 66 speeding citations. 44 of them, or 42 of them are actually on 575. We've been having quite a problem on 575 with high speeders. We had 5 of them that were 90 plus miles per hour. So and expired tags, I don't know why we keep getting expired tags. I mean, people missing their birthdays or something. But that's, you look at our numbers, our number one issue in traffic citations is speeding. 43 is what we had, counting the one that came in after I did this. And then we had expired registration. And then after that was 2 faster conditions, which kind of falls into speeding. Like you're going, it falls in accidents closely. If you looked at, when we looked at the other long-term ones, we were having problems with some of the stop signs, things like that. It kind of falls in there too. We have the speeding, I guess we're going to go ahead and just do a 90 overflow. Because it's not stopping. On 25th this month, we had someone at 119 miles per hour. So we had 7 speed citations that were over 100 miles per hour. When I went back and looked for the year, just to give you an idea of how long it's been it's slowing down, but the overall numbers, we had 39 of them that were over 90 miles per hour. Highest speed 139 miles per hour, 119 and 110. I mean, those are just deadly. That's kind of how we are with traffic right now. The incidents, so the officers have responded to 525 incidents. Those include just from July 11th to today. That includes the initiated responses. So if they see someone out, they see something suspicious, they get out with it, they stop to help distracted motorists. Self-initiated and actual calls for service. 40 reports generated. Very glad to say we had no violent crimes, no robberies, rapes, burglaries, things of that nature. We did make 4 arrests, DUIs, or 3 of the 4, and possession of controlled substance. We're growing, and I've noticed that, I mean, when I first started, I think it would be lucky, or you could say you're lucky you arrested maybe 6 people a year. So, and lucky you got a call, 2 calls a week. So it's grown quite a bit. So our officers are staying busy, so I appreciate everybody's support. I know it's grown. Any questions?
Can you tell us about the state certification?
Yes.
So we recently went through state certification. They were here on Monday and Tuesday, and everything looked really good. Like with any first time you do certification, there are some policy changes, things like that. We were actually doing probably 99% of the stuff. Sometimes we just had to figure out how we were documenting it the correct way. So I wrote a lot of memos yesterday or Tuesday, which is good. But as of right now, I was told that we don't have anything to worry about as of now. So let's say that's something that's going to be in our future. Congratulations to Stuart. Stuart did work unbelievably hard on that. Stuart and I have worked together for 18 years now. This is his first field training officer. And to see him get to the level he's at now is very exciting for me and the department.
It's a major achievement.
Yes. Yes.
I have no doubt that you'll get the certificate and we'll enjoy the tax or the insurance break.
Yes.
But
Well, that's what I've wanted for years and years. I'm so happy that we're getting that certification. And I might add, because I didn't do it a few days ago, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Your birthday was the 10th.
Turned 50, my second cortisone shot my elbow.
Well, again, thank you so much. Anything else? All right. Thank you. Eric?
We'll jump right in with money. Fund balance. This is the first month of our fiscal year. We ended the month of July with approximately $2.389 million cash on hand. Our expenses for the month of July, this is the first July I can remember where we actually took in more than we spent. July is usually one of our horrible months because revenue season is October through March. So we actually did very well this month. Total revenue of $500 and almost $14,000 against expenses of about $330,000. Administration, again, full prep for the audit. The audit team will be here in September. Seems like we're always in the middle of an audit of some type. Capital projects. The roundabout, unfortunately for the community, things are getting worse before they get better. The slip lane to go west on Howell Bridge has already been removed. So now it is a true four-way stop. There's no way to make that blend. And it'll be about 2 months before a slip lane comes back. So those morning backups especially are going to be difficult.
Just say David from.
On the 372 spur and bypass, as I mentioned earlier, this has made its list of the potential T-SPLOS for Cherokee County. So if that passes, they're allocating over $10 million to this project. It appears we are still on tap for the $1 million from Congressman McCormick's office, and the $10 million from Senator Warnock's office is still in play. The Senate has fallen well behind the Congress this year in appropriating funds, so we'll see where we get. Still doing our assessment on the possible, and I just say always possible, just one of the things looking at. We save almost $10 million if a bridge does not go back on Northridge. But this is being assessed from many different avenues, from public safety, fire response times, police response times, commute times for residents. So Cherokee County will be working on some surveys and whatnot to find out from residents what type of impact this would have. It'd be, I think I mentioned last month, it'd be very similar to what we have now with Cartersville Street and Old Howell Bridge Road. When they built 575, they just cut the road in half, and there's no bridge connecting those two.
Eric, ultimately, wouldn't the state be the deciding factor on whether the bridge goes back or not?
No, ma'am.
No.
The state's the one that asked us to look at it from a funding perspective. But now they could have in the future, yes. But right now, everything that's happened is locally funding. Cherokee's putting in more money, so now if the state comes to the table and says, yes, we're going to put in the final $40 million to build a road, they have all the say.
Right.
Yes.
So, and it could come to that they have the
Yes, ma'am, they could.
say, right,
Yes.
okay.
The one thing the state has already put in emphatically, that Northridge will not connect to the bypass. So it's either a bridge over, but there's no ramps, no connection from Northridge to the bypass.
Has a recent traffic stop been done on that road? I mean, I know.
On Northridge,
Yeah, that
there's one being done now.
Okay.
Mountain Brook sidewalk extension, this is being pulled from reporting. The project considered complete at this time. We are obtaining prices now on the Old Dawsonville Road crosswalk and always stop at North Mountain Brook Drive. And I am happy to say that although mornings I haven't seen much activity, residents along there are saying they're seeing a lot of people using the sidewalk and walking on that area, so that's good news. Water and sewer, we're back in the UCMR 5 sampling. We were lucky in one of the many water systems across the nation that were selected for this. There are unregulated contaminants of all different types that are out there. Nobody, when EPA and EPD starts looking at what they're going to regulate in water, they select water systems like us and just see what they can find in our water. To find out if there's chemicals or things that aren't currently regulated, to find out what's there and what kind of regulation they need to develop. So we went through this back in February. They found nothing. This is our second and final test, and we anticipate they'll find nothing again, but it's been done. We're in the midst of our American Water Works Association water loss audit. This is a look at our system to how much non-revenue water, and unfortunately there's a lot of non-revenue water, and we get penalized, not penalized, but we're judged on what we lose, and we're judged on what we produce but do not charge for. So, for example, we have an abundance of meters around the city that we charge nothing for. The irrigation system in the botanical garden, irrigation system on Lions Field, softball field, you know, the restrooms at all our public restrooms, and we don't bill for any of that. So that's automatically calculated in here as a loss to the water system. So pretty in-depth analysis. We're working through that now. The one that I think I've spoken with all of you about, that's really racking our brains right now, is we're being required to determine our carbon footprint for water production. So we know that Georgia Power has let us know that it's for every kilowatt hour of power they generate, they emit 336 grams of CO2. And so now we have to back from that through all our power bills and calculate our use of kilowatt hours and then determine our carbon footprint just to produce water. So it's getting interesting. Mountain Brook connection, I'm getting tired of talking about this one and seeing nothing happening, but pipe got delivered. So pipe has been stacked. So we should see crews soon bring a water line down Jordan Road. And once we make that connection, it's going to be another big plus for us. Also in the water department, all of our personnel in water are now state certified flaggers. We went a little bit above and beyond on this one. They had an online course that they could take that allowed them to work on our water system. But we did instead the in-person courses to where they could actually work on state contracted projects. But we figured with the 2 state highways that they have water lines on and work on a lot, it'd be a better liability issue for us if they were trained at the higher level. So all of them are certified there. I think I shared this with you the other night as well. A water line that we've never been able to find, we found the hard way. Contractor dropped a rock on it. But this is the line that was actually installed when they built 575. So I don't think anybody here has ever laid eyes on it. We've hunted for this line and hunted for it, and a contractor rolled a boulder off the top of a grading pad and it found the water line. And but if you'll see down here, the guys couldn't get an excavator to it, couldn't get anything to it. This area is steep, and so they were sliding down it and rolling pipe down to each other. This was just a pad up here, and it doesn't look it in the picture, but that's a good 70 or 80 feet higher than where the guys are working down here. So all that was pick and shovel work. We meet with a contractor tomorrow, and he's going to figure out how to build us a maintenance road to get in now that we know where the line is, and so that we can access it in the future with equipment when needed. Our parks in downtown got accomplished some of the things that we talked about last month. The bleachers have been delivered and assembled. Water department sitting up there, so the water department built the bleachers too. Roberts Lake, y'all know that's one of my favorite places. Every time we go in there, see wildlife. So I had to take this picture because this turtle was the only thing I saw on that day, but I saw something. So sometimes we see the little stuff, but then we got a bigger bear roaming around in there. So it's
It is a big bear.
it's a good sized one. Things that we have coming up soon this month is next week we'll be relocating the historic marker in the headstones from down the vicinity of the flagpole in the center of town. That's the area where our downtown kiosk is going to go, and that's supposed to be, I think, tomorrow. Supposed to be ready tomorrow. So we'll move those items out next week, making way for the installation of the kiosk in that area. Community development, this will be my last month talking about community development. We'll split next month into 3 presentations. The chief will go, and Palmer will bring everybody up to speed on community development and planning and zoning issues.
Yes. Palmer. Yes.
We, for the month of July, issued 12 permits. We are 2 behind last year, and this is very different than the rest of Cherokee County. Cherokee County, last I heard, is about 63% year over year. Holly Springs about the same. Woodstock is down, so we're holding right there. On rezonings, the Covington rezoning is officially withdrawn. Ball Ground Highway, that's the Bertamini project, AG to commercial. In Palmer, the work session on that is Monday. So the county will be hearing that, the work session on Monday. The also, not sure if this one's going to go, thought it was, but a conditional use for a bed and breakfast at the 4-way stop downtown. Not sure if that one's going to go or not. It requires 2 steps. It would require a conditional use approval by mayor and council. If they voted to allow the conditional use, they would then have to go to the variance board and obtain a variance because the potential owner does not want to reside in the house. And it's a requirement of our ordinance that they do. The 2 developments we'll update you on tonight. The first one is Ball Ground Brook. This entrance right here is the one you've seen being cut in. It's a gravel drive right now. It's directly across from the entrance at Marble Tree. This area here will remain undisturbed. You won't be seeing any activity there. There will be 2 pods of homes right here, and then the rest of the homes will be back at the back of the property. It's a total of 43 units. Their initial submission they came in with, they asked for 96. So it's been cut a little better than in half. They have 31 guest parking spaces. The interior streets will be private. The water will be private. We will master meter at the entrance. And this will be a E1 sewer system so that we don't have a small lift station to maintain, and we won't pick up sewer maintenance until the right-of-way of Ball Ground Highway. And this doesn't tell you a whole lot, but if you've seen that hole, that's where they're going. The portable bridges were installed today, probably right about in this area. This is where the little Ball Ground Creek runs through, right there. Again, on the permitting, they're platted at 43 lots. They have 0 permits pulled. Don't anticipate permits until the February or March timeframe. They got a lot of groundwork to do first. The other one mentioned is Southern Sky Development. Southern Sky is another project that's been hanging around since probably 2002, 2003 time period. This is on the hill behind Universal Alloy. What they have set up right now is an entrance that will eventually adjust. We have met with the engineering firm designing the bypass, as well as the county engineering staff, to make sure this area, if you've seen previous iterations of this plan, they used to come right out here with the homes. And while that land is not required for the bypass, they will have to grade all the way back in this area. They'll need a temporary grading easement to, just as we talked about, they'll be cutting Northridge down almost 80 feet. So they'll be doing a lot of grading. So they have voluntarily shifted everything and pulled it up tighter to make room so that houses don't have to be torn down when it's time to do the bypass. It's platted for 117 units. They have had their first round of stormwater comments, first round of water and sewer comments. Palmer is going through the rest of their plans now for compliance with everything zoning. And as I said, we have coordinated the entrance to accommodate the bypass. And it does also reserve a lot in the back of the development to make a future space where Lowry Street could connect into this development and extend to Howell Bridge, giving us another north-south connector in the city. That is all I have for tonight. One other thing, because there wasn't as many people here the other night, but Palmer, if you would, throw a hand up again. But this is Palmer Rogers. He's come on board with us a couple of weeks ago, already making his presence known. A very talented and professional young man. So he is our Assistant City Manager and Director of Community Development. And you'll be seeing a lot of him. And welcome to Ball Ground.
You haven't been here long, but you've been outstanding since you've been here. We're glad to have you. Really, really are. Any questions of Eric? Eric handles more things than I think any other city manager does every day, but he's great on keeping us informed with lots of items every day. So no questions. We'll just say thank you and move on. I just had one item I wanted to mention, and we talked about it at our work session, is setting up our retreat. And Eric sent out some dates, and I have about 3 or 4 of those I can't participate in, but has everybody sent their? Mm-hmm. Okay.
So if you just send me yours, we'll get a date out.
You're the problem.
9/27, 10/4, 11/1. Now that's we'd like to go ahead and get that date set up, and I hope our next work session will come up with where we're going and put, a different location maybe for it than we have in the past. But at this time, Scott, anything you want to bring up? Vicki?
I do have something. I would like to, in light of our recent fire this past weekend, I wanted to thank our police department, public works, and our local fire department for acting so quickly, because that could have been a real mess. And I'm so thankful that it was a freestanding building and not connecting to the rest of our downtown. So thank you, everybody, for all your work.
It's amazing.
It is. And I'll echo that same comment. Thank you to the first responders. I do want to give a special thank you to our water department. You know, I didn't realize when you hook up to a fire hydrant, you just expect that water to flow. And that's all we see. We don't see the wizard behind the screen turning the valves and everything, but that's what the water department has to do. They have to be in certain areas to make sure that the pressure's maintained, that the tanks keep an adequate level so that we can continue to use water without any interruption. So while all this was going on, the firefighters were working. They were redirecting the water to make sure that they got the correct amount. And the city staff never let us down. They do a great job. Thank you.
It's true. It's very true. Christine.
And we're very blessed to have such dedicated staff in our city. I mean, we're a small city, but boy, they do a lot of multitasking on different areas in our city, and we're blessed with that. And I just want to thank you all for coming tonight.
Yeah, thank you for coming, everybody, and we're looking forward to Roots and Remembrance, the downtown and the Ball Ground Historical Society are working on a really cool program. I think it got moved out to October, but it'll be really cool.
Should I ask our attorney if he has anything he wants to say? Okay, at this time, we're going to move to public comments, and we have 3 people that have signed up to speak, and so let me reach out to a resident, David, Brogan's Bluff.
For y'all that don't know me, my name's David Westrick. I live at 217 Brogan's Bluff. Mayor and council, I appreciate the opportunity to talk to y'all tonight. At the work session last week, y'all talked a lot about the backdoor trash pickup, and I listened to everything y'all had to say. And one thing I'd like to encourage, I know there was some discussion about it, I would really encourage you to try to help these small businesses and these businesses with some relief for some period of time. I think it's going to be more detrimental than some of y'all think it might be if you go count trash cans in front of some of these businesses right now. Some of these people have as many as 16 to 20 trash cans. Well, 20 times 6 now is a different number than just $6. So I would ask y'all to consider that, because I think it's important. Some of these businesses are already struggling, and I think that just adds to that struggle, and maybe something to consider. With regards to the parking, I was very concerned after I left the meeting because it wasn't not clear what the purpose of the parking thing is, and I think we need to be very careful. I look forward to hearing what this new ordinance says and how it's crafted. I've come from Woodstock. They have literally just put in paid parking, and if you went to Woodstock right now at 8 o'clock on Thursday night, there's nobody parking in the paid parking. Ball Ground is way too small to implement paid parking. I think we would just run away people. So I'm very concerned about that. And then there were some private property rights that I think, as a realtor, I would be very concerned that we've got to be very careful of the private property rights that would be impeding on as well. If somebody owns a parking lot, they own a parking lot. It's private property. So just those are my comments. I just wanted to say those to your all's consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. You made a lot of good comments, and appreciate it. Next, Thomas from Canton. Now you get to speak.
Well, thank you, Mayor Roberts, and in approbation of your invitation and to each member of the Ball Ground City Council. Before I make comments on what I would like to share, I would first like to celebrate you. I recently read in the Cherokee Tribune that you've announced your retirement from public service greater than 40 years. And I know that for all the time that you've spent in this city and this current mayoral role that you hold, based on the trust of each of the constituents that they have put behind you, that you have a laundry list of many accolades that you've been able to shepherd through to realize Ball Ground and everything that it is today. And in light of all of those accomplishments, I first wanted to start by congratulating you and wishing you the best post-retirement.
Thank you. I wish I could have more things that we got done.
Oh, well, it
We're
was,
still working on them.
it's still many accomplishments to say the least.
Thank you.
On a lighter note, notwithstanding the tumultuous yet impassioned start of the new business of tonight's agenda, I wanted to come up here and share with each of you just to say thank you. And I don't know if you hear that often enough. You know, oftentimes you'll hear from others, and although I'm not privy to what they may or may not share, I don't know too many people who stand in line to wait patiently with tact to say thank you. When I first approached you about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago in your city's administration, I came in from out of town with a request, and it was agreed to by this mayor and council. I'm not going to rehash that. I'm just here to say thank you, and thank you for giving me a fair shake here in Ball Ground. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Okay, next, Dale Phillips. Northridge.
I was coming in to ask about where we stand on the Northridge development, but now I've learned there's a Southern Sky and a ball ground brook, and all of those are all over there on my side of the town. So is the Southern Sky also the Northridge development?
Southern Sky is totally different from the Northridge development. Northridge development is the one that was withdrawn. Southern Sky main entrance will be onto Howell Bridge Road. So where the cul-de-sac is right now at Universal Alloy, if this development moves forward, they would have to extend that roadway about 150 yards up the hill towards Northridge and create their entrance going in there. It would also create the lot in the back to connect to Lowry Street, making in the future the potential for the city to connect there to make Lowry a through street. Currently, there would be another entrance and exit potential up off of Northridge. That's in debate right now. One of the things they come back and said they may want to secure that as a fire entrance, because not many people.
Lowry Street?
No.
Fire entrance?
The Southern Sky exit to Northridge. They're considering making that or proposing that as a secondary fire entrance. The reason being for that is they feel internal to that community, nobody would leave and go on Northridge, but that Northridge could use to cut through the neighborhood to get to Howell Bridge quicker. So that's one of the things they're looking at, but that is a different development. Primary entrance would be off of Howell Bridge Road. Ball Ground Brook is on Ball Ground Highway, does not touch Northridge.
Yeah, okay. So when will we have a community discussion on the Southern Sky?
They did in 2002. So it is zoned. What we do now is plan reviews. So Palmer, as I said, is going through their plans now. We've already gone through their stormwater plans, water sewer plans. He's going through the rest of the plans.
Why do they
So
feel a need to cut through Lowry Street?
that is something the city would like eventually to be able to extend as many through north-south connecting streets.
So that,
Enhances the way we can move people through
so
town.
what are you gonna do about those houses on Lowry Street? They're like right on the road. That's only a one-lane road.
Right.
We're gonna open that?
No, nothing at the moment. They provide a lot, but once they provide that lot and that lot connects to the city's street, we then have the potential in the future, there's vacant land all along Lowry Street. We don't intend to buy anything, but if a developer in the future purchases what is on the current west side or east side of Lowry Street for a development there, then that individual would be required to widen Lowry Street, move the water line, and establish that north-south connection, just so we can have as many interconnections as possible.
So how do I stay, and with the friends I have on Lowry Street, how do we stay involved in this?
Have you ever visited the city website?
No,
On the front page of the city website, there is a
I
tab
mean, I have, but not for this.
very near the top called Applications and Future Maps and Applications, Projects and Applications map.
Okay,
You click on that, it'll bring up a map of the city, and all the different areas with a submitted set of plans will be highlighted. You're able to click on that and see the plans.
and then what do I do with that information if I want to be involved in it?
You contact myself or Palmer.
Okay, so that's that one. The historic district. I wanted to know where you all are in the process of the application for the historic district so that we can apply for tax shelters, I guess is the word I'm looking for.
You can already apply. If you have a historic property, you
Yes.
don't need the designation
Oh,
from us to apply. If you have a historic property, you can apply through the state now for tax credits for renovations to historic structures. The inventory that the city is working with is just to be able to declare a historic district for the purpose of preservation and having a historic preservation commission that people that wanted to make changes to their historic homes would need to come through to get a certificate of appropriateness to make sure that they are restoring those homes in the proper way.
apply with the state, but what department is that? Is there a
State historical,
there is a historical? Okay, I'll find it. And then I just heard something about clearing brush between the ball field and Easy Ride.
Mhm.
And what is that gonna be?
all the brush that hangs over the property line fence.
On to my property?
There's a fence between your property and our
Uh-huh.
property. And the limbs that hang over onto our property behind the dugouts.
Yes.
Where they walk, we're just gonna cut those so the kids can walk under without getting hit. We're not cutting on your side of the fence, cutting on the city side of the fence.
Will that kill the trees anyway? Should we just take them all out to begin with?
Wouldn't hurt my feelings.
I have to take them out?
If you wanna clean up that fence line, we'd work with you on it.
I don't see why I wouldn't want to. I mean, I do get a lot of balls coming over.
Right. You probably, now we take the trees down, you probably get more.
Yeah, that's what
I
I'm
mean,
wondering.
they probably stop some.
Okay. And of course, I want to know, I probably missed all the meetings about golf carts legal. I sell so many in Canton and Woodstock, and I can't sell any here.
But no,
Never?
I don't get to say never. But we don't have an ordinance right now that
How do we
prevents that.
get one?
Excuse me, I want to bring that up at our next retreat. It's on my list already.
Okay.
Because a lot of people have talked to me about it, and if we move on it, it's not going to be just, we're going to have to at least know who's registered to
Yes.
be on there.
Just
golf
like Canton
carts
and
where-
Woodstock do.
Anyway, but again, he doesn't know that, but it's on my list for this retreat that we're trying to put together in the next
Okay.
couple of months.
Well, thank you for your time.
All right, thank you. Anyone else like to address us?
I would like to make a comment. My husband will be 30 years next week with the city of Auburn.
Let's see. Next week, what date?
The 21st. Let's have a party. Very proud.
David Dean's anniversary, 1995.
I always get. Happy anniversary from you every year. I appreciate
Well,
that.
well, you now are our longest employee.
David, from now on, tell me you just want money. Money.
David's he's been outstanding during his career here. But again, you've been here almost as long as I have.
Seen a lot of changes, and as Thomas said, I have seen you bring a lot of things to this town that we did not have when I first came to work here.
Well,
Um,
let's compliment you for the 30th anniversary. Anybody else?
Comment on behalf of the Ball Ground Historical Society.
It's Mr. Stansel.
Tony Stansel here with the Ball Ground Historical Society, and just want to invite y'all to our August meeting, August 28th, and it will be here at 7 p.m. and we'll have Bill Cagle with the Pickens County Historical Society here to present a program, and part of it will be about the marble mills that we had in Ball Ground and some other, probably some Cherokee Native American history, and so we look forward to that program. And then in September, we'll have a evening of recollections and remembrances with Jenny Byers. And so we'll do that September the 18th, I believe, will be that evening. We normally meet the fourth Thursday of the month, but since school break is going on then, we'll meet the 18th. So Jenny's got some interesting stories, and both from the Ball Ground Garden Club and the bank, and seeing what town was like back then. And interestingly, people want to hear about, what do you think they want to hear from Jenny about the most? Interestingly, it's bank robberies. Got some stories on. Hopefully we won't have any more of those, because if you've ever been through one, you don't want to go through one again. So, thank you, Mayor Roberts.
Tony, Tony and I worked together in the same bank for a number of years.
Yeah,
So we're glad to have you back in Ball Ground.
yeah, thank you.
I would like to say also thank you to all the council. When I sent a text, you responded, and I won't be aggravating you with text, but if something's really near and dear to my heart, I will be, and thank you for responding.
Welcome.
Anybody else? All right. At this point, then, we're ready to adjourn. If I can get a motion to adjourn. Motion made, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Again, thank you so much for joining us. I'm telling you, we got to build, or somebody in the future got to build a bigger room for our